Hi folks, Richard Tubb here, and we're doing something a little bit special today. I'm joined by Rick Yates of Zedsphere, a distributor in Warrington in the UK. How you doing, Rick?
I'm really well, thank you, Richard. Yeah, how are you?
Good, I'm good. I'm at home in
Excellent.
Newcastle upon Tyne in the northeast of the country, and we're joined by AJ Singh. I'm going to say in California. You can give me the exact location there, AJ.
So I'm 40 minutes south of San Francisco in a place called Fremont.
Fremont, got it. Okay. And the reason we're doing the video today is Rick and AJ and I have been speaking about Ninja RMM. I'm getting my first look at the product, a demo, so I thought it might be interesting for viewers of my blog to actually have a look and join the demo journey with me as well. So AJ has very kindly got up early in the morning across there to do a demo, and we thought we'd go with it from there. So thanks for your time today, AJ.
Yeah, not a problem.
Cool. So I guess for my benefit, as well as the benefit of people watching, what is Ninja? What is Ninja RMM? What's your background, and where does the business come from?
Oh, sure. First of all, thanks for having us. So Ninja RMM was born in end of 2013. It was started when three of us actually thought that we should scratch the surface on should we build a RMM tool in the first place, because we felt there was a need in the market wherein people, or should I say the other RMM tools, were moving more towards mid-market, like Kaseya and LabTech. And there was this sweet spot, which we thought would make a lot of sense to dive into. So we spent almost 3 months and did lots of surveys via phone and email, and checked with lots of MSPs that would they be interested in a new RMM product if they were given X, Y, and Z features. And we got a really good response. And based upon that, we started this company with a leap of faith.
Cool. So talk me through what Ninja RMM is. Obviously, I'm familiar with RMM, remote monitoring and maintenance products. What's Ninja's sort of special angle, I guess, on this?
Yeah, so the Ninja RMM is a SaaS-based multi-tenant RMM platform like many others. But the biggest USP of Ninja is primarily, I would say, a phenomenal onboarding experience, a super easy and slick modern UI, super quick onboarding, the fact that you have free support, no contracts, month-to-month contract, or should I say a month-to-month billing, and the fact that it's super intuitive. So once you log into Ninja, you will find everything is so well defined or organized in terms of how the workflow should work. And that's why people love it. It's like a cakewalk, setting it up and getting your customers up and running in no time.
Cool. I'm looking forward to seeing it then. So at this point, I think I'll let you lead then, if that's okay, AJ. And
oh, sure, absolutely. So yeah, just to give you a quick background about Ninja. So this is one of the infographics we created recently that sum up Ninja in a nutshell. So we started the company end of 2013, as I mentioned before. We started with 3 employees, and we are 50 strong now. We have actually 1,200 partners plus. We need to update this slide. So we are growing rapidly. We're headquartered in the Silicon Valley in San Francisco, and we actually opened up another office in Florida last week. So we are really thrilled about that. We are rapidly expanding. And the core team of Ninja, including myself, are very savvy with the MSP world. So we carry more than 100 years plus of cumulative experience among all the core team management members. We were born in the cloud. We are totally based out of Amazon, and we have a very high availability, uptime guaranteed. At the center of this, you see Ninja actually entails 5 or 6, or actually 6 to be precise, different areas. And from a broader perspective, we do a phenomenal job at patching, that is Windows as well as third-party patching. There is a very heavy focus on security. So we actually integrate and partner with multiple AV vendors. We also have multiple backup vendors, and there's a very exciting one that's coming out before the end of this year, wherein you will see a single pane of glass integration within Ninja. There's also a very powerful network management engine. It was, again, borrowed from Packet Trap MSP, which was our previous product that we worked on, the core team of Ninja, that is. And there's multiple PSA integrations, because that's what one thing we realized when we started the company was people are really keen to stick to the PSA tool they were using, They might still switch the RMM tool more frequently though, because PSA controls their dispatching, billing, and invoicing. So it's harder to make them switch the PSA tool than the RMM tool. So with that thought in mind, we integrate with most of the common PSAs out there, and we keep on adding more to the list. And then again, we have phenomenal remote control, which I'll talk more about while we're going through the demo. And again, on the right side, so it's all US-based support. Actually, our support hours are, broadly speaking, it's from 4 a.m. Pacific till 7 p.m. Pacific. We also have support open on the weekends. So our support team is really well known for, awesome responsiveness. If you look at the Reddit forums and stuff, you'll see that great reviews have been left just because of they had, our customers and prospects have had great experience with the support team.
Can I jump in just for a moment there, AJ? I see US-based free support there. Rick, I'm guessing this involves you in the conversation as well as the distributor in the UK. How does the UK support side of things look at the moment?
Yeah, so we've got a first-line support function here at the office at Zedsphere, and as AJ mentioned, we've got access to the Ninja-based support team from its very, very early doors. Kind of, I think AJ, you said 4 a.m. For you guys over there, but the support responsiveness for the UK is actually really, really good because they run kind of like that shift pattern for the US-based team. But there's always someone on the end of the phone here in the UK at Zedsphere if any UK-based Ninja customers need any help. And we're all fully versed in Ninja. We know how to use the platform. We can typically resolve any key issues pretty quickly ourselves. So that works pretty well, actually.
Cool. Thank you. Cheers, AJ. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, of course. Thank you. Thanks for that question. Moving on. So we have unlimited training and onboarding. So that's one thing that many of the companies charge for without naming them. So there's a fee associated with the onboarding because the process is really tedious and it takes lots of man hours to train the MSPs and their engineers on the platform. We give that option for free. So we spend almost an hour and a half to 2 hours to train the guys. And then again, if the MSP wants more training, as more techs join his team, we are very happy to do that free of charge. There's no hidden cost. There's no unplanned cost. Like we don't charge for, let's say, an SMS message or some crazy stuff like that. There's no contracts because we believe in the product and we believe that people like it and they will like it. And, they won't switch that easily. So we keep it month to month. And lastly, it's a predictable pay-per-device model. So we charge the same price. It's agnostic of the device type. So it could be a desktop, laptop, server, networking device, a Mac. It's the same price per endpoint.
So just to clarify that one, because that's really interesting to me, and I'm sure people watching this will be interested as well. Doesn't matter what the device is, it's going to be charged in the same way. So there's not a variance in price for servers or workstations or anything else.
That is correct. Mm-hmm.
Cool. I thought I understood that correctly. Just wanted to clarify. Cool. Thank you.
Of course. And at the bottom of this slide where you see our partners, so Ninja's goal from day one has been to be an ecosystem vendor. We believe that MSPs have religions. They prefer a certain piece of software over the other. And our goal is to bring the best in every realm, be it backup, remote control, antivirus, or even PSAs, and bring them under a single pane of glass. That is your Ninja RMM console. And we've been with that vision since day one, and we really are happy that we did that because it's really resonating well with the MSP community.
Fabulous. So I see some familiar names in there: IT Glue, Warranty Master, Autotask ConnectWise. So WebRoot. It looks like you're sort of committed to integrating with just about everybody by the looks of that list.
Absolutely. Yeah, you'll see this list expand leaps and bounds in the coming months and years. Okay. All right. So cool. Moving on, I can switch to the actual product now. So here is Ninja's system dashboard. So we cater to your customers' devices from 3 different angles. First, you have endpoints, which are Windows and Mac. Next, you have networking devices. So routers, switches, firewalls, printers, basically any device that supports SNMP. And the third aspect is cloud monitoring. So it could be your domain records, websites, public IPs, on-prem email servers, and stuff like that. Again, all from a single pane of glass. So here on the system dashboard, you see all your customers with underlying devices and things that need attention. So there's failed Windows patches, failed third-party patches, trigger alerts, running scripts, servers down, and there could be more things here, obviously. And then I could click on a customer and see the same view focused on that customer. And here you see all the devices with things that need attention. And I could remediate things from this screen itself. So here we have a triggered alert. I go in here, I could go in here and reset that and make that device happy again. So it's green and happy. So green is good, red is bad. Now I could drill down to a device and show you what all we can do at the device level. So this is one of my Windows virtual machines sitting on Zen server. That's why I see the Zen icon with the Windows icon as well. First, you could run scripts on this. And there's lots of built-in scripts in the system. And you can add your own scripts if you want to. And we support all popular scripting languages ranging from PowerShell, VBScript, JavaScript, Batch, and CMD files. Moving on to command line. So we give you two options to run that as a system user or as a currently logged in user. And it's real time because we use something called WAMP, which is one of the newer protocols used by most of the web companies. And let me show you an example. So I'm going to ping the Google DNS. And as you can see, the response is almost real time.
And the end user doesn't see any of that, so you can run a command prompt in the background to do work on a machine without the end user being disturbed, if it was a workstation, say.
That is totally correct.
Got it, okay.
And I could copy contents from here. I could paste content in here. And I could also download this as a text file. So I can see the session history of whatever I performed on this device.
So you can cut and paste that straight into, say, a PSA ticket.
Exactly.
Okay.
And then you could also run PowerShell commands from this command line. So basically, it gives you full control of the endpoint without bothering the end user at all. All right, I'm going to kill this. Next, let's talk about remote control. So Ninja gives you two options. One is Splashtop, and the other one is TeamViewer. Both of them are really quick, really fast, and snappy. So I'm going to show you both of them. First, let's talk about Splashtop. So I click on the icon. It takes a couple of seconds, and boom, you're connected. So Splashtop is really basic with the integration we have. So it does the basic features that you expect from a remote control tool, namely, obviously, remote control, file transfer, and chat. The other tool I'm going to talk about is TeamViewer. And when I talk about TeamViewer, there's a little more I would like to say. So we actually have the best integration with TeamViewer in the whole RMM industry. And that's a very bold term, but I can back that up by the fact that we sync your users, customers, and devices from the Ninja account to your TeamViewer account automatically, which means your TeamViewer account looks something like this. So you see all your customers and devices auto-created, which means I could click on the device here, it makes an API call, and you get connected to the device pretty much real time. And the good thing is we have an awesome bundle that comes along with your Ninja license, and Zedsphere can totally take care of you, or the MSP when they plan to sign up.
Well, I was going to ask about that, AJ. So if you've got Splashtop and you've got TeamViewer, is there sort of licensing implications? What gets bundled out of the box and what would be an additional cost? So TeamViewer, is that an additional cost?
They both are additional cost. I mean, we just give more options, as I said, right? We're trying to give more options to the end user. So they probably will buy just one. But if somebody wants to have multiple options as a backup, they're welcome to do that.
Got it. And I guess question for you, Rick. So the bundles that AJ is talking about, that's Zedsphere also offer those to UK MSPs?
Of course, yeah. So actually, the most popular bundle that we sell is Ninja, TeamViewer, and WebRoot. And sometimes people will choose to take the Splashtop element rather than TeamViewer, so they can just kind of pick. We kind of affectionately call it like a pick and mix for MSPs. So yeah, it works really nicely.
And to ask a stupid question, which I'm good at asking stupid questions, but so I guess buying that bundle is cheaper than, say, going to WebRoot and to go into Splashtop or TeamViewer and Ninja separately.
Oh, of course, yeah. I mean, it's just amazing value for money, and yeah, you're going to make a massive saving by doing this as a bundle purchase rather than going to each of those three vendors. And the benefit that's added is that you're buying it all from one place. It's bundled into one monthly price with the same supplier, and obviously there's the technical integration, which is fantastic as well. Everything's on the same console, so yeah, it's bonus points all around.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And AJ, not to go too far off tangent from the demo, because I'm really interested in the product, but so this is a refreshing approach. This is an interesting approach for you're actually sort of buddying up or collaborating with other companies to offer these products, as opposed to, I guess, some people get irritated of being dictated to which products they're going to use.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Yep. MSPs love to control what they use. And
oh yes.
To that, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Sure. So moving on, if you go to the device details now, there's lots of fun stuff you could do here. First, you see the top 10 processes by CPU consumption. And you could kill a process right from here, again, without bothering the end user. You could do same with the memory hogs. Further, if you go to Windows Services, you could search for a service. And there's two things you could do. You could start, stop, or restart the service. You could also change the startup type of the service. So if you probably want to disable it so that it does not run next time the machine boots up, you totally could do that. Now I can move into software section and see all the installed software on this machine. And I could select some and uninstall that right from here.
I've got to jump in at this point. As a geek, I'm really intrigued by this part. The command line the users didn't see. If you're installing a piece of software, did the user see something flash up on the screen, or does it do it all silently in the background?
It's all silently in the background.
Okay, very cool.
Right. And then if you go to the OS patches tab, here you can see all the installed patches. Of course, you could search for them as well. If there were any pending or failed patches on this machine, you could take care of them right from the screen.
Yeah. And we might get to this a little bit further in the demo, but my mind's already jumping ahead. Is there ways of setting up auto approval for patches across an entire client site, or indeed across all client sites?
Right. So exactly, I'm going to talk about that actually in a brief moment, because I'm actually planning to zoom out at this point. So I was going to highlight the fact that why Ninja is so popular, as I mentioned before, is twofold: the super easy and intuitive UI, and also the fact that the workflows are really easy. And a big part of that is actually because we have everything controlled from a central unit or central entity called policies. Okay. Let me show you what a policy entails now. So we go to the policies tab and I go into policy. So policy is nothing more than a superset of different config items that control a device, how that will behave once onboarded with Ninja. The first part of that is conditions. So I go to add a condition, and here you see the master list of all the conditions that we provide today out of the box. So CPU breaches a threshold. So with memory, if a process is down or a Windows service is stopped, if a Windows event comes into the specific event ID or source, if the hard drive smart status is degraded, if a software exists or does not exist on a machine, any of these will trigger an alert. And then you could get notified via email and or a text message. Further, you could create a ticket in the corresponding PSA tool. So we today integrate with Autotask, ConnectWise, and Repair Shopper. And as I mentioned, there's a lot more on the horizon, which I probably cannot talk about yet, but you will see a lot more announcements from Ninja in the coming months on a few more PSAs that are working on integrating with us.
So you're committed to integrating with other PSA tools that are out there as well?
That is correct.
Cool.
And further, you could remediate a triggered alert by adding an action here if you wish to. And there's quite a few that you can see in the list already. And of course, if you don't like any of these or they don't fit your needs, then you could go to Run Script, upload your own scripts, provide any command line switches, and pick the user context you want to run that under. So really flexible.
Yeah.
Moving on, under schedule actions, you could run any of those actions that I showed you on the previous screen in a standalone fashion. So give it a friendly name, pick the schedule, how often you want to run it, and obviously pick the action itself. Next important piece of the puzzle, which you just mentioned a moment ago, was Windows patching. So we actually partner with this European company called WinStall. It's based out of somewhere close to Austria, I believe. And we're using their engine behind the hood or under the hood that is pushed to every single endpoint that in turn manages the patching for you. And thanks to that, first of all, you could suppress the reboot even if the patch requires the same. So that's a big one. If there's a 0-day threat and Microsoft releases a patch, so you could totally patch your production server right in the middle of the day without having the server to reboot. So you have two different options based upon if a user is logged in or not. If a user is logged in, you could prompt him, just pester him till the time he actually gives in and reboots, or do nothing, and that'll basically suppress the reboot. Or if a user is not logged in, you have different options here as well. So very flexible in terms of controlling the whole reboot mechanism. Scan and update, pretty obvious. So we look for the patches, and here you download and install the actual patches. And this is the brain of this feature. So here you have 6 + 1, 7 different types of Windows updates, and each of them have their own severity levels. And this is all based upon Microsoft APIs. And each of these categories are further a 3-way switch. So you can either pre-approve a patch category, pre-reject a category, or select manual. And what manual does is it leaves the patch on the machine, which shows up in your MSP console with 4 options: approve for device, reject for device, approve for policy, and reject for policy. So gives you complete control again on the device level if you want to approve the patch or deny the patch for the policy or the whole device.
AJ, forgive me for jumping in again. So at the moment, we're on your master workstation policy. Is there a sort of a hierarchy to this? Can you set up policies by customer or by client site or by type of machine?
That was a smart observation. We totally do that. So that's the next thing I was going to come to. Yeah, sure. So just like group policies, you could totally inherit your policies. And I was actually, once I finish up what's contained in a policy, I'm going to show you how that ties to a customer and or a device.
Thank you.
Good job there. I like it. All right. So next part of patching is third-party patching. So that's a really big feature. And we are really, really proud to partner with this company called Ivanti, which is one of these enterprise-grade patch engines. It was formerly called Lumention, and it's used by really big enterprise companies like Dell to perform patching on their machines. So this was a very recent feature we released that almost a month ago. But thanks to that, we can patch almost 140 softwares right through Ninja. So it's a really long list of softwares. I go in here, expand all. So as you can see, there's all your .NETs, Adobe, Java, WinZip, Dropbox, Office 365, even Exchange servers. You can patch all that from here.
You even patch Evernote.
Yeah, right. Yep.
As an Evernote user, I'm impressed. I need to get this in place to update all my machines with Evernote.
Totally. So in some cases, you can install the software from scratch as well. And in some cases, you can just upgrade them based depending upon what the engine provides us. And last piece in the policy that's important to talk about is the AV integration. So we integrate with Viper as well as WebRoot. And we have almost 200,000 endpoints using WebRoot today, and it's doing really, really well. We love this product, and we're really happy that we got a chance to integrate with them, because all the recent ransomware attacks that happened, we got 0 infections or 0 reports of people being affected by WannaCry or Petya. So really happy with the solution.
So I know from recent conversations I've had with MSPs here in the UK, WebRoot is very, very popular. So it's great to see that integrated. I know one of the first questions that any MSP is going to ask, though, if they don't use Viper or WebRoot, if they use another tool, what about integration there?
So we are actually reselling Bitdefender, Gravity Zone, and also Malwarebytes, the newer endpoint security product. And we will be integrating with them sometime next year. So Bitdefender will come more towards end of Q1, and Malwarebytes will be right after that. But the good news today is we actually also integrate with Windows Security Center, which means any antivirus on the planet as long as it registers with Security Center, will show up in the Ninja console with two things: if it's on or off, and if the definitions are up to date or not. And that's again one of the things that people really want to see, that if are they safe and secure? That's what matters to them. So we give them that already.
Very cool.
All right. So that was all that was inside a policy, Richard. Now, as you mentioned, so we can inherit policies. So I created a child object that's AJ's child workstation policy that is inheriting my master policy. So if I go in here, I would see all the settings that have been inherited. And now, and of course, I could, by the way, even have more fun with this, and I could make a small change. So let's switch the reset to 12 hours, and I could override a certain setting on that policy. And of course, I'm just going to discard those changes. So now let's show you how that ties to a customer and a device. So if you go to the Organizations tab, and if you go to one of the customers, and go to the Policies tab, here is where I tell Ninja, hey, buddy, for any workstation that joins the AJ's home office customer, make it adhere to AJ's master policy or the child workstation policy. So what people usually end up doing is they create a master workstation policy, and then they can create objects per customer if they want to monitor certain customers in a different fashion. So that's how the hierarchy works. And further on the device level, it gets even more interesting. There's 3 options that you get. You could obviously edit the policy that this device belongs to, which is obvious. Second is you could change the policy for this device to something altogether different. And third is you could create a device level override. So if I go to edit, I make a small change here, save and close. It will show me one condition has been overridden just for this device. So very, very granular.
Very
Any
cool.
questions so far?
No, that's fantastic. Thank you for explaining that.
Not a problem. So next, let's talk about backup briefly. So we have 2 options that we provide to you. One is StorageCraft Shadow Protect. And also, by the way, they're a complimentary offering called Image Manager, which lets you push your data to the cloud. And we have a 2-way sync, which means if you create a backup job here, it's going to sync to the endpoint and vice versa. And also, just to zoom out a little bit more, so we can manage, monitor, license, and deploy Shadow Protect from Ninja. Which also means if you already had a Shadow Protect install, you will start seeing the monitored data automatically with all the backup jobs and all the good stuff. Next one on the list is Cloudberry. So we are super thrilled to announce that we're releasing a single pane of glass integration with Cloudberry before the end of this year, which means you will be performing everything from Ninja's console, and you can perform file and folder backups and or image backups to start with on Windows devices. And it's going to be very, very tightly knit. We are working day and night to get that done. So that's one of the bigger features that we are really excited to work upon at Ninja.
And again, just to clarify at this point, these are not companies that Ninja own. This is companies that you are partnering up with to deliver the functionality from directly within this pane of glass.
That is totally correct.
Cool.
Yep. No. These companies have been nimble enough to work with us and help us get this single pane. Because again, I think they also believe in the vision that we have here, wherein they also believe that MSPs like RMM and the integrations with their softwares. And I think single pane of glass is such a beaten around term, but at the end of the day, everybody wants that. Nobody wants to have 10 consoles open, one for AV, one for backup, one for RMM, then another remote control tool on the side. I would think people would like to see single billing as well, right? That's also a big thing that people really want to see. They want a single source of billing so that they can just get done with it, once a month.
Yeah, but this is very cool from an MSP's perspective. I used to be an MSP myself, so if I was looking at this product as an MSP, even though you've got antivirus, you've got backup products, you've got all manner of things in there, remote control, you're not dictating to the MSP which remote control to have. You're certainly offering them some bundles. You're saying, hey, here's backup, StorageCraft and Cloudberry, but it's down to the end user, so they can choose StorageCraft or or Cloudberry, or something else entirely.
Absolutely. Exactly.
Cool.
Right. So I'm going to move on to the next topic, that is network monitoring. So again, Ninja is the only RMM that actually goes to the depth of network monitoring as we do. Let me show you an example. So this is a Cisco ASA 5505 sitting in my San Francisco office. And as you can see, there's the basic information from an SNMP perspective. There's also CPU, memory, all the network adapters. The first feature that people really love is NetFlow. So if your device supports NetFlow or any of the variants like JFlow that's used by Juniper, or SFlow that's used by HP and Dell, or IPFix that's used by SonicWall, we can show you that in the Ninja's console, and basically that shows you every single piece of packet that goes in and out of the network at any given time. And we have quite a few different views to help you troubleshoot better. One is conversations. So any internal IP going to any external IP. You can also see the overall percentage it's consuming. And then I could click on a certain conversation and see when all it occurred, what was the port and the protocol it was using, and what was the flow duration.
And what sort of timescales? Is this in real time? Is this live? Or is it a snapshot every hour or something like that?
Good question. So we actually grab this snapshot every single minute. Right. So Ninja's resolution by default is every single minute. That could be for the RMM product or for the NMS product as well.
And what does this mean in practical terms? So for an MSP, so I'm thinking of a scenario, a really common one, where I as an MSP get a phone call to the service desk from a client saying the internet's running slow, or our broadband connection's running slow.
Totally.
So in practical terms, you could drill down to the client here and have a look and see where the bandwidth is going.
That is exactly correct.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. And next is by ports or applications. So I could see all the HTTPS traffic over TCP going through this network during this hour. I could also check for the last hour if I wish to. Another view is by domains, and this is mostly used for compliance purposes. People complain, hey, I don't want my users to go to Facebook. Let me see. Oh, there's 5 users using Facebook. These are the guys. Fired. So, yeah. But on the serious note, yeah, this could totally help you make sure that you're meeting your whitelist and blacklist goals in terms of your team going to the right websites. And then you can also see an audit log of a certain endpoint. So what has ASSPCE been up to during the last hour or this hour? So yes.
That's very cool.
Right, yeah, no, totally, people like it. Another feature that people like is the config backup. So you can back up your Cisco and HP devices config and show that right in the Ninja console.
Any plans to add any other networking equipment there? So for instance, one of the brands that's very popular in the UK is Draytech. You know, it's aimed at sort of business grade, the SMB level. And I know from speaking to MSPs that they have a lot of challenges with doing regular backups of configurations and things for this other type of equipment. So I guess the question is, any plans to integrate with any other network vendors?
We'll be open to. I mean, that's certainly a conversation we can definitely have based upon the the ROI and the whole business case. But yeah, we're certainly open to do that. Yeah, totally. Okay.
But at the box, it's Cisco and HP.
Right. Okay. And you can also monitor SNMP traps as well as syslog through Ninja. And you can also get alerted on the OIDs or the keywords in the description. All right, so that is NMS monitoring in a nutshell. Next, let's talk about reporting. So Ninja tackles reporting from 3 different angles. First, we have a regular report, which was the very first report that we created. So if I click view, so this is completely brandable as well, by the way. So you can upload your own logo, give it a friendly name, and do all the good stuff. And there's actually sections in the report which you can turn on or off if you wish to. That'll help you, make the report shorter or longer, depends upon the categories that you want to see. So here you see devices by device type, by operating system, the scripts run, alerts fired, all the basic stuff. And here is the asset summary. So it shows you every single piece of device under this customer, what's the OS, vendor, model, serial number if that's available, CPU, memory, disk status, and the last logged in user. Further, thanks to our integration with TeamViewer, we can show you which user connected to which machine, from what day and time till what day and time, and what was the session duration. And we can do the same with Splashtop as well. And then, as I mentioned, we also integrate with Windows Security Center. So we have all these gauges, but at the bottom, you see basically the devices, which AV, if it's on or off, if it's up to date or not. So this could be any AV, even the ones that we don't support. And lastly, product keys. So which machine has which operating system and what's the product key? So that's the first report. And by the way, guys, can you give me 30 seconds? I really apologize, but I'll be right back if it's okay.
No worries.
Right.
So Rick, I'm going to take this opportunity while AJ's stepping away for a moment. But how long have you been working with Ninja at Zedsphere?
So we've been working with Ninja for just over a year now, actually, and that's been a really positive thing because we've actually been able to take quite a lot of the feedback from the UK MSP market for the several hundred MSPs that have actually trialed the solution and been able to kind of feed that back to the guys over in California at Ninja and let them know what British MSPs want to see and what they need. So that's been a really positive element of it, and the fact that that we've got this kind of UK-based distribution relationship with an already established MSP network has been really, really advantageous, I think, for both our new customers and for Ninja as a vendor from a feature development point of view.
Yeah, and what type of IT companies and MSPs have been picking up on this? Is it big, small? I'm not asking you to give revenue and things, but what
sure.
type of businesses are they?
Wow. Well, as I'm sure you'll know, Richard, there isn't one MSP in the UK that's really similar to another. And we've found that Ninja is really being taken by a real mixed bag. So we've got customers that, are, 50 or 60 devices, right up to several thousand machines, you're getting up to kind of 10,000 machines plus as the largest MSP customer. Yeah. So it's a real mix. The kind of sweet spot are those managed service providers that are typically coming off another solution, something that they want to do because they're looking for a simpler, more user-friendly product that just kind of has the functionality that they need, but doesn't have all the gumph there that they don't need. And the typical user count ranges from about 250 to about 750 endpoints. So it's a mixed bag, but there's that kind of core customer base in the middle that is your regular kind of UK-based MSP size for an MSP that's pretty well established, with a few years under their belts.
Yeah. And putting you on the spot here, but challenges, if any, that you've experienced with MSPs who are migrating away from another product. I mean, the RMM market is really, really competitive. There's tons of things out there. I've been really impressed by what I've seen of Ninja. If an MSP wanted to move away, speaking honestly, what are the biggest challenges you see about moving from one vendor, one RMM vendor to a company like Ninja?
Yeah, well, I think the thing with RMM and PSA, those kind of products very often are like the beating heart of a managed service provider. So just making that decision in the first place is, a big and important thing to do. Most of the conversations that we have with managed service providers, they're looking around for a reason. They have pain points. Yeah. And there's obviously been a number of changes in the MSP space in the last year or two, acquisitions, changes, things that are as simple as, features that have been added on. There's been extra cost bundled in without the MSP knowing about it. That kind of thing annoys customers. Customer service programs changing, being outsourced to different countries, products being acquired and things changing. So people typically look around for a reason. And the key challenge for us as a distributor is to say to the MSP, right, you've kind of made the decision now that you want to change and you've identified that Ninja is the solution that you want to go with. How can we help you with that transition? And it's having that conversation openly and honestly with the MSP about what that transition schedule is, how they're going to do it, and just making a point of not ripping them off, right from the outset and saying, well, you've got to sign up for 500 seats straight away, to get this deal. No, we don't really work like that. We know that transitioning an IT environment from one RMM to another is a big deal. And it's just about making sure that we can help them along the way with that. And that's probably the number one kind of query, the one puzzler that MSPs have when they're buying a new RMM. Some of them are just like, yeah, don't worry about it. We can, I've got a couple of guys here ready. We can do it in a week, and others it takes 6 months, to make that transition. But that's kind of like one of the key things for sure.
It's really interesting to hear what AJ was saying earlier about the I was going to say the lack of contracts, but the lack of tie-in to things. So you live or die by the service there. So if Ninja's not performing, you're not tied into anything. You just step up and move out.
Yeah, and it's all about choice. And I think Ninja know that. Going back to what I just said, that changing RMM it's important. It's a big deal. But especially UK-based MSPs, if there's something that's not working for them, you better believe they're going to go and have a look somewhere else. So the key thing about Ninja and the whole ecosystem sale of it is it's about just giving managed service providers choice. So there's no requirement to sign up for a 12-month basis. Sign up for a month if you want to, but if you do want to sign up for 12 months, we might even be able to give you a better price. And we can bundle other products, and you can pick. As a managed service provider, you can pick, and that's the kind of culture that we've fostered with managed service providers in the UK since our inception, and that's why we find Ninja to be such a good partner, because they've got that sales culture where we just want to make it easy for managed service providers to use the product and buy the service. Why would you make it more difficult to kind of have restrictive tie-ins and contract terms and things like that? So it's the way to go.
Yeah, fantastic. Cheers, Rick. AJ, I can see your pointer moving there. Are you back with us?
No, yes. Certainly. Thank you, guys. Sorry about that.
No worries.
Yeah, and if that's okay, I can move on to the next report I want to showcase.
Yeah, please do.
Awesome. So the next report is supposed to be a little more customer facing. That is our executive summary report. And let's see what it looks like. So a lot more concise. It has these 4 sections on the basis of which we create a health score for the whole organization. Then you see devices by type and by operating system. And then at the bottom, you see, again, all these different aspects of Ninja. So your antivirus status, your TeamViewer sessions, software changes, hardware changes, alerts triggered, actions run, new devices added to the system, devices most alerts. So again, this is meant for the CEOs of the consumers or the end companies that the MSPs are catering to, just to prove the value and the holistic situation or condition of the whole infrastructure as a whole. So this will probably go out with your monthly invoice and prove the value. And then you have the third report, which is I would actually call the ugliest yet the most powerful report in Ninja.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Show us more.
I know, right? So this is actually, so you go to new search. This is called our device search feature. So here we allow you to perform real-time queries on your database. So you can tell Ninja, hey, buddy, well, first of all, you give the query a name, so something unique. I'll tell Ninja, hey, buddy, show me all devices across all customers, or maybe a certain customer, which are running, let's say, operating system Windows 7 Professional, and which are running RAM less than 8 gigs. Update, right. Save it, close it. It gives you a subset of the devices that satisfy that criteria. Further, you can download that as a CSV if you wish to. And it's a really beefy CSV. It's got lots of different fields in there. So if you scroll here, I'll just hover over everything. But larger point being, you can do all kinds of forensics with this CSV file after downloading that. And then again, I'm going to show you a few more things that you could do in that query. You could say, show me devices with any pending or rejected or failed patches. Show me devices which are or not running a certain piece of software. Let's look for TeamViewer, maybe, my favorite. So contains or don't contain. Yeah. And also I can sort by things like processor type. So, and this list or every single list that you saw here is derived from what's actually in your sandbox. So we accumulate all these data points and give you the overall list.
So you don't have any, for instance, any CPUs that don't exist within any of the client's infrastructure.
Exactly.
You're not given big long lists of things that don't exist.
Exactly, right. Yeah, this is all you actually really have.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, this is the power of it. And then again, we're going to add a lot more to this in the coming short-term future. And again, we are actually going to add 2 really beefy reports to our framework. One is a really beefy patch compliance report. Another one is an asset summary report, because we believe we have a lot more work to do on the reporting side. And we have all the data. That's the beauty of it. So we are already building those two reports right now. They should be again released before the end of this year.
Yeah.
And two more things here from a reporting perspective. So we have this software dashboard, which shows you every single piece of software across all your devices. And so it shows you also the counts of the devices that have that software. And if I click on the count, it shows me the devices that have the software. Similarly, we also have a patching dashboard. If you go to OS patches, you can see all the failed or pending or even installed patches across all devices. And then again, obviously, I can click on this count and see the devices that have that patch. So there's multiple ways we correlate the data to make it easy for the end users. And yeah, that is, I mean, again, that's Ninja in a nutshell. We have a very powerful user community. So if you go to the question mark and go to community, you can get there. I mean, I'll have to go there because differently because I'm the admin as well.
Sure.
So Zendesk makes it a little more fun. But here you have all these sections from a high level. So you have MSP forums where people collaborate on things they like or not like about Ninja, on the ideas they want to share and things like that. And then also there's the other section, which was the feature request section. So I review this once a week. And here is where you can request new features or vote on existing features that you see here. And we build our roadmap according to the priorities on these features.
So if I can jump in and ask there, is that community only open to Ninja customers, or is it open to MSPs as a whole? What I'm trying to get at, I guess, is if anybody wanted to have a look and see what existing Ninja customers have to say about the product, could they do that without being a customer themselves? I
believe there's sections of the community that are accessible by non-customers as well. But if you really want to look at specific articles and stuff, then you will need to sign up at least for a trial. So once you get a trial, it's full featured or fully featured. There's nothing that we block you. So yeah, you can go anywhere. And again, I think for me, and probably you would agree as well, maybe, Reddit is such an open forum. That's where people vent out their ideas the best way, in the best manner. And I think, that's one place I really recommend people to go to. And I mean, I've found, and I personally contribute a lot on Reddit personally. So I've seen great feedback about Ninja so far. I mean, of course, there's bad feedback as well, which is again with every piece of software in the world. But yeah, I've seen a very overall positive response from MSPs there.
Fantastic. Well, Rick, if I can ask, I would really like to gain access to the Ninja support community just to have a look around and maybe do a little bit of lurking myself if that's possible. So,
sure. Yeah, we can make that happen, Richard. That's no problem at all.
Cool. Cheers.
But yeah, guys, I mean, that is Ninja in a nutshell, right? Again, as you can see, like everything, I mean, it has most of the features that you would need from a broader perspective, but the way we've laid them out, it looks like it's really easy. And by the way, I don't know if you noticed this Twitter-like feed here, which is kind of really unique to Ninja. So we call this the activity feed. So this entails every single thing that happens on the Ninja system from a macro level as well as from micro level. So customer logs in, even a software gets installed on AJPC. So every kind of higher level and lower level details is covered here.
Most of the MSPs that I work with nowadays have a dashboard of this type and they have it displayed in the office. So as well as the engineers having it on their desk, is there a feature to have that? Because that's really good, that sort of Twitter feed that you've got there. Do you have Ninja RMM users who display it on a big monitor in their office, for instance?
Right, exactly. So what people do is people use this dashboard, once that appears. And again, this is the system dashboard. So once you get more events here at the system level, then yeah, you'll see this go like a Twitter feed. So yes, this is supposed to be the heads-up display. Got
it. Very cool. So, well, thank you for that. I'm blown away by the product. I mean, if I can get my head around it in a little under 45 minutes, so I guess a lot of the smart MSPs out there are going to be able to grab hold of it really, really quickly. Just to clarify a couple of things. So Windows and Mac support. So the agent works on Macs as well.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up because one of our largest focus for this year and early next year is ramping up our Mac agent. So today what we can do on a Mac, I believe all the Macs might be dead here, but at least it'll showcase like what I want to showcase. So if I go to a device, actually let's go into a device. You can run lots of scripts on this Mac. And Then again, if you go to a Mac policy, it's not as featured as the RMM policy, like the Windows one, but it has quite a few things here. So you can alert on CPU, memory, process, a daemon, even disk usage and process resource. But we also released Splashtop integration for Mac recently, again, so to let you, remote into your Mac from Ninja. And then a few big things that are in the hopper are Mac command line, Mac sys icon, and webroot integration with Mac. So that should again be released probably by end of this year or latest by end of January.
Got it.
Yep.
And any plans to support other systems? So I know there's a smattering of MSPs here in the UK have got the odd Linux machine or Unix machine out there. Is that something that's on the roadmap at all?
That is absolutely there for the next year. And again, we are also working on another feature called Custom SNMP, which allows you to monitor any OID on a device and treat that data as a first-class citizen inside the RMM platform. So once done, you will be able to perform basic monitoring on Linux devices.
Yeah, fantastic. Cool.
I would actually be really thrilled to show you the roadmap that we have coming up, because that'll probably,
Yeah, please go ahead. That'd be great, yeah.
All right, let's do that. So it's actually public, so that's the best part. And we try to keep it very open in terms of sharing what we are building, Richard. So I actually want to zoom out again. And if I go back, not even go to the roadmap. So we publish this engineering update every single weekend to show people what we are building and what we're doing. So this is the one from last week. So these are the features that we're working on currently. And there's a release coming out in probably next 10 days, which will have the device idle time, right? So this is one feature that I think you'll appreciate as an MSP. So let's say you want to work on a certain PC, but you're not sure if the end user is working on it right now. Yeah. So idle time will tell you how long the machine has not been touched, any mouse or keyboard movements, and that will help you log into the machine at that point. Another is screenshots from the help request form. So the way you can push a sys icon on the endpoints, and let's say one of your end users is having a big issue, and because he's seeing a crazy error message on the screen, which he or she does not know what to do about. So they can go into the help request form, and there's an automatic provision to take a screenshot of the screen automatically and email the MSP in this pop-up that opens up. So that's one of the features that we are really excited about. And then this is a simple one wherein we'll allow to reboot your Macs, which wasn't there before. Wake on LAN is a big one. So for the devices that are sleeping, so let's say you want to publish updates on your machines, but they're all sleeping right now. So this will let you wake them on, with a single click.
Yeah.
And then there is more stuff that we're working on. That is, first one is ConnectWise integration ramp up. So we have a very heavy focus. As you know, the biggest fish are with Autotask and ConnectWise. So we want to own more of that market share. And as a part of that, we want to ramp up our ConnectWise PSA integration. So we are going to push the billing counts, perform a two-way callback, which means if you reset a ticket in Ninja, it'll close the ticket in the PSA and vice versa. And then also, we'll also port the device config from Ninja to the PSA. So that's the highlight of the ConnectWise integration. Cloudware integration, as I already told you, we are really thrilled about as well. So single pane of glass RMM backup integration, that's coming out again before the end of this year. Webroot for Mac. Patch compliance report, again, which I told you we are working on 2 reports. One is patch compliance and one is the asset summary. RAID monitoring, so that's a big one, right? For anybody who wants to monitor the hardware on their servers. So we are going to cater to both Dells and HPs to start with. And this is going to be unlike any other RMM that monitors their customers' RAID devices. And I will just keep that under the wraps how we're doing that, but there's going to be a lot more information that we'll be fetching compared to any of the other ones. And then you have the Mac command line and the Mac sys icon. So those are the short-term goals. Now, if I go to the roadmap, actually, and I'm going to zoom in. Maybe a little better. So yeah, the things that you saw on the previous tab or the previous screen, most of them are covered here. And then, of course, you have custom SNMP here as well, which I mentioned to you a moment ago. And the next one would be remote telnet SSH. That will let you remote into your router or the switch directly from the web console in Ninja.
Very useful, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, I mean, yeah, this covers what we are, targeting for the end of this year. And there's the vision for the next year. So there's a lot more focus on some of the really cool stuff. I mean, these are, I would call more like nice to haves. Like first one is mobile app, right? People really want a mobile app, but it's not as indispensable as the RMM features. So that's why we pushed out the mobile app to the next year. And you'll probably like the name that we're going to give the mobile app. Is going to be called Kitana, which is a ninja sword. So, but yeah, I mean, so there's lots of good stuff that we are going to do there. Ninja Flow is going to be a patented, should I say, technology wherein we will be grabbing the traffic from your endpoints. So you don't even need a device with NetFlow. We'll be grabbing the network traffic from the actual endpoints, and we'll be creating a dashboard holistically for every single endpoint under the same, I would call it under the same gateway probably. To, let's say you're in an office of 10 users, right? So we'll show your dashboard with the top talkers and top listeners. And then let's say you in particular move out to a coffee shop to work. So we'll see your gateway changed. So then the graph and the dashboard will change automatically and, just, fit again to the version or to the people who are actually in the office now. So that's something we're really excited about. We're going to ramp up our storage graph integration as well to bring that at par with the market. There's a lot more heavier focus on reporting. And reporting is an endless feature, right? Because the more reports you create, the more reports people want. Yeah. So we are increasing the data retention in the backend, which is a very long-term project. So we are working on that in phases, but there'll be a lot more pre-canned reports in Ninja, as you will see. And then there's one feature that people want is tagging or adding groups, right? Yeah. So because they want to do perform a certain action on a subset of devices. So that's where this feature will come in handy. And a lot more addition, or we're going to actually take the scripting library out to its own container in a standalone fashion, and we're going to add a lot more scripts to this. And then there's going to be Active Directory integration and also more ecosystem integrations, as I mentioned. So there'll be an endless effort going on forever. As long as the company survives and persists, we will have so many more integrations. So,
fantastic.
Yep.
Cool. Good to see where you're going with it.
Thank you.
Fabulous product. I'm really impressed by it, and it just seems so easy out of the box to get a hold of and to understand and to use. So I can see why you're picking up so much popularity with MSPs.
Awesome. Thank you. Yep, totally.
Cool. So is there anything else you'd like to show us, AJ, or should we draw a line under it there?
That actually pretty much sums it up right now. I'm sure I'll have more to showcase probably in the next 3 months. So yeah, there's always more stuff we're working on. And definitely, again, we are very aggressively developing features here because, I mean, again, we are growing, but then again, so is our customer base, and especially the bigger MSP. So there's more focus on some enterprise features like Hyper-V monitoring, VMware monitoring, and all that. So we want to cater to that segment as well. So maybe in next 3 or 4 months, we'll also try switch our gear to help add features which matter to the larger MSPs as well.
Yeah.
So yes.
Well, give me a shout as and when those features are added, because it'd be useful to do a follow-up video and see where we are in a few months' time.
Absolutely, will do.
Yeah, cool. If anybody watching this video wants to get in touch with you to find out more, and Rick, I'll ask you for Zedsphere's details in a minute. AJ, sure. How would they get a hold of you?
They can just email me at aj@ninjarmm.com. Could not make it easier than that. I could probably just have gone with a@ninjarmm.com, but that would have been too weird. So yeah, you can totally email me there. You can also get in touch with our support team or our success team. But again, I mean, yeah, probably get a hold of me and I'll be super happy to jump on a call, get you in touch with the right people to show you your demo and whatnot.
Fantastic, AJ. Appreciate it. And Rick, how do MSPs in the UK get hold of Zedsphere?
Yep, so it's pretty easy to get hold of us. So you can call into us at 0330 122 2050 or just go to our website, zedsphere.com, or drop us an email, sales@zedsphere.com. So yeah, we're pretty easy to find. So give us a call. We've got dedicated specialists for Ninja here on the team. So, you'll land with someone who knows the product back to front and can also help you out with technical evaluations, demos, trials, and of course, the commercial side of things for pricing and fingers crossed signing you up as a partner.
Yeah, fantastic. And you're based up there in Birchwood in Warrington, an area I know really, really well from my MSP days. So I'm looking forward to popping by your offices and saying hello to you at some point in the future.
Yeah, we're looking forward to having you. We'll make sure you're welcomed with the appropriate amount of tea and biscuits.
And for anybody wondering, by the way, this is green tea and not, as Rick suggested, a pint of beer. Yeah, I'm fairly laid back about the work that I do, but I don't actually sit drinking beer while I'm working. So. Okay, guys, Rick, AJ, really appreciate your time. AJ, I know it's early in the morning over there, so thank you for getting up early to do this demo with us. Fantastic products, and I'm looking forward to seeing where Zedsphere and Ninja go in the future.
Thank you so much for having us, Richard. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Richard. Nice to see you again.
All right. Bye.